Top 10 individual taxpayer mistakes on 1040 income tax returns according to the IRS. Given that we are past the government financing arrangements that were provided during the COVID-19 pandemic, we would not be looking at the massive amount of errors that arose from the one-time tax credit, which allowed taxpayers who did not receive economic impact payments or less than the full amount they were entitled to claim a credit on their tax return. The two primary causes for math errors in the recovery rebate credit were that the second economic impact payment was issued after many taxpayers had already prepared their tax year 2020 tax returns, and that many taxpayers incorrectly calculated their allowable recovery rebate credit amount or claimed a credit that they were not entitled to. This resulted in 11,372,980 errors being identified, representing 87.9% of the errors identified by the IRS for tax filings for the 2020 tax year. Mistakes that we will be looking at are in addition to some other common mistakes which are not contained in this IRS statistical data, such as filing too early and missing subsequent information from your submission, filing late, thus delaying the processing and subjecting oneself to interest and penalties, misspelling your name, incorrectly entering your social security number, providing an incorrect bank routing number, failing to sign all signature lines on your tax forms, and collecting and using all the tax-related information that you need to complete your income tax return. The Internal Revenue Service provides a considerable amount of publications and instructional materials that are regularly updated to reduce the occurrence of many of the mistakes that the Internal Revenue Service has identified, with the current year's 1040 instructions being a key starting point. Now on to the mistakes as identified statistically by the Internal Revenue Service. Mistake number 10, adjustments to income. 2.1% of errors for the 2019 tax year filing, representing 24,463 occurrences. Schedule 1 of IRS Form 1040 provides the taxpayer with certain permissible expenses, payments, contributions, fees, etc., that they might subtract from their total income, with the difficulty arising in making those adjustments in strict conformity with the established parameters of the Internal Revenue Service. The IRS's current year 1040 instructions provides an expansive depiction of adjustments to income with important worksheets for key aspects. Mistake number 9, refund amount owing. 2.4% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 27,860 occurrences. A mathematical miscalculation of the final amount, either being a refund or amount owed to the Internal Revenue Service. Mistake number 8, filing status. 3.1% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 36,861 occurrences. There are 5 classifications for an individual taxpayer's filing status: single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household, and qualifying surviving spouse. And even though the IRS says, quote, if more than one filing status applies to you, choose the one that will give you the lowest tax, end quote, the critical aspect is that you need to actually qualify for it. Otherwise, you can get less of a refund than you are otherwise entitled to, or the IRS might flag your tax return. IRS Publication 501, Dependents, Standard Deductions, and Filing Information, provides an exceedingly detailed analysis as to determining one's filing status. Number 7, first-time home buyers credit repayment. 4.3% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 50,334 occurrences. The repayment obligation arises in the tax year that the taxpayer either disposes of the home or its use as the taxpayer's main home has ceased. Those taxpayers would benefit from reviewing the IRS instructions for Form 5405 in furtherance of the preparation of IRS Form 5405, repayment of first-time homebuyers credit. Mistake number 6, Standard itemized deductions. 6.1% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 71,648 occurrences. Going overboard with respect to the amount of itemized deductions that an individual taxpayer believes that they are entitled to is where many taxpayers run into problems, such that they should be scrutinizing those itemized deductions against the IRS's stated position as set out in Schedule A, Form 1040, Instructions. In addition to there being certain individuals who cannot claim the standard deduction due to clear situational issues that have been identified by the IRS, see IRS Publication 501. Mistake number 5, Earned Income Tax Credit. 6.4% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 74,936 occurrences. The Earned Income Tax Credit is a tax credit for certain people who work and have earned below a threshold income level, which is impacted by various circumstances, in particular based upon the number of qualifying children that one has. This too is prone to complexity, such that it is advisable to look to IRS Publication 596, Earned Income Credit, starting with Table 1, Earned Income Credit in a Nutshell, and the Earned Income Credit Eligibility Checklist. Mistake number 4, Education Credits. 6.5% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 76,798 occurrences. As one can well anticipate, education tax credits can be quite complex, especially as there is more than one tax credit that is made available to individual taxpayers, with the specifics of their personal situation needing to be addressed in the determination of eligibility and credit amount. IRS Publication 970, Tax Benefits for Education, provides a comprehensive overview as to the IRS's position on education tax credits. Mistake number 3, Adjusted Gross and Taxable Income Amount. 12.2% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 143,587 occurrences. When the taxpayer takes deductions for which they are ineligible or do not apply to their tax situation, this impacts their adjusted gross income and taxable income, as is the case with tax credits, such that this precipitates computational errors that continue to flow through the income tax return and results in errors arising with the Internal Revenue Service. Mistake number 2, Child Tax Credit Miscalculations. 17.5% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 205,594 occurrences. The top 5 reasons for this particular error are: 1, your child doesn't qualify; 2, more than one person claimed the child; 3, social security number or last name don't match; 4, married and filed as single head of household; and 5, over or underreporting your income or expenses. The qualification rules are all too frequently not satisfied, with those requirements being: 1, relationship, your child must be related to you; 2, residency, your child must live in the same house as you for more than half the tax year; 3, age, your child's age and student or disability status will affect if they qualify; and 4, joint return, your child must not file a joint return with another person, for example their spouse, to claim the EITC. IRS Publication 501 provides a very in-depth analysis as to what qualifies as dependency relationship and who is entitled to the child tax credit, starting with Table 5, Overview of the Rules for Claiming a Dependent. Mistake number 1, Mathematical Error in Tax Calculations. 35.2% of the errors for 2019 tax year filing, representing 415,875 occurrences. Mathematical errors combined with inputting the incorrect numbers into one's calculations tends to be the overwhelming issue that the Internal Revenue Service sees with individual tax returns. And the problems aren't entirely limited to the taxpayer, given that employers and other parties that prepare tax slips filed with the IRS can miscalculate on their end, or input tax information incorrectly, such that there is a range of reasons for these mathematical errors to arise and cause problems with the individual taxpayer's income tax return. Thank you.